Hey YouTube, welcome back to New Rock City, the show that brings you a brand new band each week with an interview and some music videos. I'm your host Stephen Moss. This week we have a band all the way from Littlehampton, England, and the band is called Gloo. Guys, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
The first thing I'd like to do is just have you introduce yourself and say what you do in the band, please.
I'm Tom. I sing and play guitar.
I'm Mark. I do vocals and play drums.
I'm Simon, and I play the bass and sing some of the harmony bits.
I'm glad you guys are on the show. Now, Tom, you and Mark are brothers, is that correct?
We are, yeah.
When did you guys decide to actually start a band together?
You remember that better than me, Mark. When was that?
So we basically tried to be in loads of bands
Okay.
while we grew up, but they all sort of failed. But with this one, I think by chance we were living together, weren't we? Sharing a very small room, and then we basically just thought, well, maybe we just do it with just me and Tom at the start, because it might just be easier, because we don't have to arrange band practices if there's only two members and we live together. It'd be quite simple, and my drum kit was next to my bed.
Oh, cool.
So it was not, I wouldn't like to say it was more convenient, but it was probably 50-50.
And when did you guys meet Simon? Like, when did you guys form the band?
7 or 8 years ago now that it completely first started, but we have a different bassist to that time.
Oh, okay.
And for whatever reason, things didn't work out with him. And then I think Simon's been in it about 3 years now.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Simon's probably been in it for about 5, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm just... I've forgotten what time it's because of COVID.
Yeah, you're deleting out the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, the way I found out about your band was actually pretty cool. I was watching a show on Hulu called Tattoo Fixers Extreme. And during one of the episodes, they just played like a little instrumental of your song, Say Yes. And I liked it, so I grabbed my phone and I said, hey, Siri, what song is this? And she brought up your album. And I just thought it was so cool. How did you guys get on that show? Like, how did that come about?
That might be the first time I've ever heard of anyone doing that. I'm really...
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
We actually got really, well, I wouldn't say lucky, because we tried really hard to get it, but when we went to record the album that song's on, just after we'd recorded it, we got approached by Centric, a publishing company, and they had been publishing our songs on like a 28-day... This is all boring detail stuff. Either way, they were doing it on like a 28-day basis, where every 28 days you would re-upload, and you were in no contracts. And that song had been picked up by some TV shows, so they had approached us and said, "Do you want to have an actual publishing deal with us, and we'll get your song on the telly?" And we were like, "Sounds like a good idea."
Did you know what shows they were going to do it for, or was that all out of your hands, or what was that like?
They pitch they try and keep it sort of in sync with the music. Like, we wouldn't probably get onto like the Disney Channel,
Although we would want
that.
We'd have it if they're offering it.
That's awesome.
I didn't even know Tattoo Fixers was available in America.
It was pretty brand new. And it was only like the last couple of seasons. So I thought, yeah, check it out. And it's pretty cool. I love the soundtrack they have for it. But they only played like maybe, I don't know, 5 seconds, something really small, but it was just enough to get picked up by Shazam, so it worked.
Yeah.
It's really cool that they just have bands on like really well known. It's pretty amazing, really. There's not a lot of shows do that, do they?
No, when I heard it, I got excited because it reminded me like of the bands like the Hives or the Vines, a style of punk that I really loved growing up, but you don't hear too much. What was it for you guys? When did you guys start getting into punk?
I'd probably say when I was about 11 or something, kind of the last years of like primary school.
Gotcha.
Is that like kindergarten there?
I'm not quite sure what primary school is, but elementary school maybe?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like 11 last sort of year, and then I really got into Nirvana and Blink-182 from watching like Kerrang, MTV2 and like Scuzz.
Gotcha.
And then that was when I was like, right, I've got to like learn their songs, dress how they sort of dress, and follow them however much I can. But yeah, that was when it started for me.
So the song that was the introduction to me was Say Yes. So I want to play that for everybody. But before I do, can you tell us a little more about that song?
Yeah, do you want to know the meaning or just anything about it?
Oh, just whatever you feel like saying about it.
It's in It's in B major. Just opening my window. It's very hot in here. Muggy. It's 25 degrees. Steve and his boiler.
I would like to be naked, but I won't for the show. It's that hot. So yeah, on a deeper level, Say Yes is just about, you know, doing things that are out of your comfort zone, trying to better yourself in that way, saying yes to more things. And yeah, that was actually one of my favourite songs on the Apathetic Youth album when we released it. And the solo is fucking sick. So listen to that.
Right on. So I'll play that. So here is Say Yes by Gloo. Welcome back to the show, everyone. The thing that I really appreciate about you guys as a band is you're very DIY and you do a lot of things yourselves. And one thing I was reading was when you were making the video for Hit It, that you actually had like your friends and your family involved. But one thing that stood out to me was you guys had your dad in the video and that he was actually a boxer with a record of 22 wins and 2 losses. Man, that had to be intimidating. What was that like trying to box your dad, man?
I think maybe that. I mean, he did do definitely boxing at a county level. I don't know how real the 22 and 2 is. We might have just thrown that in because we're that kind of, you know, snarky back. But I think he definitely did have like upwards of 20 fights. And I know he lost a couple.
Gotcha.
So it probably is. Maybe it is a true fact. It was quite scary, but not that scary because he's like got diabetes and he's 55.
So you can wear him out.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought worst comes to worst, I just run around. But he's like weighs a lot more than me. Not really a fair fight. I was like probably in 145 sort of category. I'm like Floyd Mayweather, and he was rolling in like big Andy Joshua style. It wasn't really fair.
That's hilarious.
It's not. I think it's weird, and the thing is like I think me and my dad have a different relationship to you and Dad, don't we, Tom?
Yeah.
Because I don't actually mind the idea of him punching me straight in the face or me punching him in the face. Whereas
yeah, there's no way I'd be able to punch Dad in the face. Just couldn't do it.
I was literally the whole time thinking, if I get a KO here, this video is going viral.
I'm like the referee in it as well, so it's like even weirder because I'm like in between the sandwich of the fight, and it's
That's
like
funny.
Yeah, and I'm not breaking them two up where they're throwing fists at each other.
No, it was good fun, and he was such a good sport, to be fair. When I knew even before I asked him to be up for it. He trained for like 4 days, went on a low carb diet for a weekend.
Oh, dang.
Really got
He went all in on it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was posting up training videos on TikTok. He was going crazy.
He did do little training videos on Facebook.
Skipping. He was all over it, trying to build the hype, You've got to sell the fight, Steve.
All right, so I'm going to play that video for everybody. So here's Hit It by Gloo.
Nothing you can say is gonna change my mind. Won't get far without your lies. Nothing you can say is gonna change my mind. Well, I'm done. Never known a ball like you before. Giving nothing base, you're such a chore. If you don't like it, you can find the door. Well, I'm done. Change my mind. Won't get far without your lies. Nothing you can say is gonna change my mind. Well, I'm done. Hey, where's your body so hey? Got nobody so hey. Gonna be sorry so hey, hey, hey. Tell me can we hey? Change my mind. Won't get far without your lies. Nothing you can say is gonna change my mind. Well, I'm done. Hey, hey, hey. Tell me can we 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 hey. Where's your body so hey? Got nobody so hey.
All right, welcome back to the show. So we kind of touched on your TV appearances, and you guys have gotten a lot of great press, a lot of radio play. Do you remember where you guys were when you first heard your song on the radio?
Oh, that's a really good question. I'd go for the BBC, wouldn't you, Mark?
Yeah,
Mark,
what you saying, Pig?
Yeah, Radio Sussex.
Yeah,
I remember, didn't we have it on our TV in our living room at Mum's?
Yeah. Because it said the fucking band name. That's why we wanted it on there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Because if you're just listening on the radio, it's like, you know, it's not actual proof. That actually said Gloo coming up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think it was Pig, wasn't it?
That was the first song that you heard was Pig?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, I can't believe they're actually playing this, because it's like, it was so not what I know our local radio's show for.
yeah.
Oh my God, they've actually allowed our music on it.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
One thing I thought was cool was even Kerrang! Magazine picked you guys up and did a whole article about you guys. That was pretty cool because they're a big magazine here in the States. What was that like? How did that come about for you guys?
Who's that? But I think we've got quite a nice our PR people they're just obviously quite good at their jobs, to be honest. I know that sounds like a really boring answer to that question, but I could lie and say to you that we flew out to Kerrang! Head office, but we didn't. They heard our album and they gave it 4 out of 5, which for a debut from Littlehampton, who aren't massively involved in the music scene where they're from, was pretty good for us. So then they were like, you know, can we do a piece on you? And we were like, yeah, okay. And then we had a photo of us around in our local amusement park in Littlehampton. Like the fact you actually called us Gloo from Littlehampton, England, has made my day already.
Yeah.
Because the more that gets mentioned, we're comically and proudly from this town. And maybe they liked something about that because it was just a bit stupid, little seaside punk band, you know. But yeah, it was really good, to be fair, because they could eat. We could just be cannon fodder for a magazine that big. Just some new little band from nowhere wouldn't upset anyone by saying, check out Gloo, they're shit. But they don't. They like us, and we're very thankful for that.
That's awesome. In that article, they also featured the song Pissheads. So I wanted to play that video for everyone as well. But before I do, what can you tell us about that song and that video?
Mark will tell you about the video, but the song, I came up with it on the way to work. Or was it on the way home? On the way to or from work. And someone said pissheads, and I was just like, in a sentence, and I was like, that's a cool word for a song. Like, that'd be cool to get in. So I just did a voice memo on my phone. And then as soon as I got home, I just tried to make something up with that word in. And it came pretty quickly, the song. And it's a really simple song, but just the word pissheads just, I think, makes it a lot better even for a simple song.
Nice.
And it emphasises it. But yeah, Mark will tell you about the video because it's pretty cool video.
So are you a puppeteer or something? Is that how that came about?
I was for about 3.5 hours. We Googled like alcoholic puppet, and we didn't really know what we were going to do with it. And we found a website that was selling that puppet with the fag hanging out its mouth. Because people ask me if I made that puppet, and I think if I could make puppets to look like that, I wouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? But either way, it looked really good. And then me and my girlfriend basically built a fake set and had to like record the Tom's video parts and put it on a phone, and then sort of, you know, we just pissed around it literally in a fucking cardboard box.
Oh, that's cool.
In my living room, just turned all the lights off and lit it up like a little set. We've done a few, the pig video I did with my girlfriend as well, same thing, just got a cardboard box, made it into a fake set and just did like stop motion animation. For anyone that thinks they need to pay millions of pounds for their music videos, they do not. They just gotta use their brain.
Very nice. So here is the video for Pissheads by Gloo.
We're all pissants.
welcome back to the show, everyone. So we briefly touched on some of your accomplishments and the magazines, the radio. You guys have also had over 250,000 Spotify streams. With all of the different accomplishments, I was wondering, is there one that stands out to you as particularly special?
Oh,
That's a great question. No, you do yours, so I reckon it's the same.
Oh, well, I enjoyed supporting the Nirvana tribute band at Concord too.
yeah, that was cool.
Good one.
Yeah.
They're
'Cause
good.
it was like a sick venue, and well, it's Concord too, so it's a cool venue in Brighton, whatever. And it was rammed because it was a tribute band. And then afterwards, we actually got to watch like a fake Nirvana, and it felt like, if you squinted, it was the real thing.
Oh, that's cool.
For me, it was being able to walk into HMV, which is like our version of the shop that sells all the famous CDs. And our local shop in Worthing was stocking our CD through no fault of our own. So it just went out, and then they're like, yeah, your stuff's in shops, and our vinyl was just for sale all across England. That was probably the most if 15-year-old me could see me buy my own CD from a shop in Worthing, that'd be pretty mental.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
That's probably the one,
Cool.
for me, that was probably the most.
When we got on New Music Friday on Spotify was pretty cool as well.
That was good.
Right.
But I've been honest, I remember Matt rang me and said, you're on New Music Friday, and I went, what's that? So I couldn't be that excited. I didn't even know what it fucking was when he told me. Spotify.
It was what was more exciting was seeing is it like 500 people listening to you right now or something?
At one point, it was nearly 5,000 at one point at 9 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Mate, the rain's falling down. We've got to shut this window again.
Yeah, you can't really tell, but it probably is going to just start thunder and lightning any second here.
Oh, I gotcha. We'll try to get these before the internet goes out.
Yeah. Bang.
So you guys have a new album coming out on August 27th. But before we get into that, I wanted to play one more song from your first album. What can you tell us about the song and video for Holiday?
Oh.
Video wise, same thing. We used an iPhone 6 on a GoPro gimbal, sort of duct taped on the end of it. Just went around our little seaside town pretending we were on holiday, really. Rented out some swans. One of our mates, so we had 3 of us on one of them swan boats doing the paddle, and he was on his own having to keep up and film us at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And then to top it all off, didn't even pay it. He didn't ask, but that's the kind of thing. You have to favours help me, stuff like that.
The actual ending footage of Holiday was we were just going to do it as one little scene on the boats in that video, but we watched it back and we were like, that's actually better than all the other footage that we filmed throughout the day. So we ended up using the boat stuff as the main footage. I think there's another version somewhere of Holiday that's completely different, like the video.
There is one. There's one that's got 5 seconds of the swan in the middle, and then we're like, actually, the swan. I mean, my fucking haircut in that video is just ridiculous. But, I think. And I was wearing a luminous pink vest as well, just to really highlight the yellow hair.
Nice. And you may have guessed, but the song is about wanting to go on holiday because you're bored. Oh, right, yeah. Secret. It could be because you're bored of the mundane shit. You just want to get away. That's what the song's about.
Right on. So for everyone at home, here is Holiday by Gloo.
Don't take that away from me. Ready for sun sun and sea is where my baby lay. I need a holiday. Don't take that away from me. Beneath the sun and sea is where my baby lay. I need a holiday. I need a holiday. I need a holiday. I need a holiday.
And welcome back to the show. So before the break, we kind of mentioned your new album. So to reiterate, it comes out on August 27th, and it's called How Not to Be Happy. Your first album was called A Pathetic Youth, and it did so well. So I was wondering, how do you approach a new album when you guys have already set a high standard for yourselves? What's the mindset going into your new album like?
Yeah, I guess try and do the same again. It's really hard to kind of think of like writing new stuff based on stuff you've done before. I've always tried to just write whatever you're thinking at the time without thinking about what you've achieved or what you could do even in the future. So I've always just tried to write stuff that I thought was good at any one present time as I was writing it. To be fair, even the success that we had with A Pathetic Youth, to me, that isn't the sort of success where I'd be like stumbled writing from it, if that makes sense.
I got you.
Yeah, it's amazing it got in shops, but I know what you mean. It's not like Tom's worried about not selling out the O2 next week.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But if it did completely flop and it got loads of bad reviews, who knows? And it didn't get that, so.
Very cool. So I read that you guys said this about the song Work So Hard. You said it was the first song that we wrote, and it was the catalyst that set the stage and the tone for the new album. My question is, what was it about that song that made you guys go, that's it, this is going to be the benchmark for the album?
Oh, that song we had for almost as long as all the other ones, would you say? It was like very quickly after there's an EP in the middle, wasn't there? And we had it just after we'd recorded. There's like a 7-track EP or something that we put out. You know, it's quite hard to describe when you like them. We like the ones that make us laugh a little bit, or like they just seem a little bit ridiculous to the point where you're like, that's almost funny. And that one kind of did that with that. So like doing that for 64 bars is almost a joke in itself, isn't it? And then we like the solo. We like the fact the solo wasn't the same as the melody. We'd done that quite a few times in the past. It just, yeah. And when you're good at playing them, Steve, it just feels great. And that one we could play live and be like, we're good at this in a nice, humble way.
Nice. So here is the benchmark for the album, the song Work So Hard by Gloo.
Well, I work so hard, I don't get anything back. Well, I work so long, I can't get anything on
song shit, does it?
And welcome back to the show, everyone. Mark, you said in an interview that you guys are a live band. So I was wondering, what is it about your band that you feel people get out of seeing you live that they may not get from listening to you on the album?
We do put in quite a lot of effort when we play live. We move quite a lot. We also all sing, which doesn't sometimes always come across on the CDs, I'd say. Well, not the CDs, that was a bit old, wasn't it? I'm 31 now. On the songs. But it's very like all-encompassing, you know, we're all doing quite a lot of the time. I just think we seem to just somehow play a bit, it just seems to be a bit louder than other bands. People tell us that. I mean, whether that's a positive thing or not, I don't know, but that's just one of the things, you know. I think we just putting quite a lot of effort into our live show. That's the only reason we really played music since we were 10, you know, just to actually play the instruments. Like, you don't wake up when you're 10 and go, I can't wait to just put that compressor on that snare. Like, no one fucking says that, do they? You want to play the gig, and that's sort of, we try and radiate that energy.
Very cool. For those of us in the States, you can still catch them live on YouTube. In February, you guys did a show for Four Faced, and it was a live on stage show. That one seemed like a social distance because you didn't see people. What was that like for you guys?
That was very distanced because there was only about 4 people in a 500 cap venue.
Oh, okay.
That was the gist. Was like, we actually sort of on purposefully didn't do like any acoustic shows or anything like that. We just didn't feel like it would represented our band very well. So when we had the opportunity to basically play at Concord 2 again, which we've now mentioned twice, we have to start getting paid for this. We were like, oh, that would be like a cool opportunity. And we were the first band to do it. They've done loads now through that promotions thing. We played on the end of a pier as well, but yeah, it was basically no one in there and us just doing a gig to no one. It was good.
It was good to play again, but still not quite normal.
Gotcha. Yeah, here where I'm at, we didn't have like the social distance shows. I know I talked to bands from Canada and they did, but for us it was they shut it down, so we had nothing, and now it's back up, so we have it again. Like there was no in the middle for us. It was all or nothing.
Wow. And is that like because people are vaccinated and stuff, or not?
In my state, yeah. Most people have been very, responsible, got their shots, and things are picking. But here in this country, it's very funny. It's almost like 50 different countries. So all of them are different. They all have their own different rules, and the mentality is different. I can only really speak from where I'm at. And here, most people got their shots, and things are pretty much back to normal. You don't have to wear a mask anywhere except if it's in a high concentrated area, like a hospital, train station, things like that. But for the most part, it's pretty much back to normal here.
That seems weird. I got to wear a mask just to go into Tesco Express. So
I don't know what that is.
Like miles behind where you're at.
Tesco's like Walmart or something.
Oh, okay.
They have tiny little ones, like a convenience store.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. We're definitely nowhere near that. No.
All right. So for those watching, we'll just stick to the YouTube shows right now. I was reading up about the song "Down," and I read something pretty interesting that it was almost deleted from your voice memos, Tom, until you guys played it as a band. How did you guys save it? Like, what was that like?
Oh, so me and Mark just played it. Just us two, just trying out a load of songs. It was one of about 50 riffs that we were trying or something on the day, because I just have like loads of song ideas. Like a lot of them are just absolute shit, but like one or two are like diamonds in the rough or whatever. And I played it to Mark and did like the initial first line, and then Mark was like, oh, I think you even said, is that one of yours, Mark, or something, like you normally do if it's good.
I said, oh, have you got a verse for that? And you were like, that is the verse. And I was like, that ain't the verse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then, down. And yeah. And then we made the verse.
Yeah, and then it just sounded great. Yeah, it just sounded great in the room. But I literally took it to the practice thinking, oh, this is probably just going to be chucked away. that it's now on the album, which is crazy, really.
That's cool. Now, Mark, you had touched on earlier that everybody sings. Does everybody help with the writing as well?
Yeah, it's like the first album. Would you say, Tom, was basically you made all of it, wasn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. And now it's like Tom's makes the majority, and then me and Simon pitch in with our stuff, really. And then, you know, Simon, I'm like, will pitch in with ideas mainly to do with when we should go. And then when we go, oh, Simon, it would be good if this bit sounds like better, like I'm singing the wrong notes, and then we figure it out together. We all play our part in these songs, and I think actually they do sound a little bit more like all three of us gelled together than probably the first album. I suppose you've only heard the singles, haven't you, Steve? I have to send you a link over, as long as you don't share it.
I've only heard the ones that are on Apple Music.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll get you a thingy bob over after this. I think you'll love it.
Oh, nice.
Is Ride on that?
Ride, yes. Ride is on there.
Yeah, good.
The next song I wanted to play is one I appreciated because I play drums. And this one I thought was cool because, Mark, you sing it and play drums in it. So I thought that was cool. What can you tell us about Big Smoke?
This actually is one that I made, and I think that's the only reason I ended up singing it in the end.
Oh, you wrote the whole thing. I got you. Yeah,
and then because I had made it, on the demo, I had to do the vocal just to save us time, because I'm quite impatient like that. And then I think Tom was going to sing it when we went to record it, and then when we'd obviously all heard the demo so much, we were like, oh, actually, should I just fucking do it again? And I knew I could play it and sing it because I'd done it at practice a few times to sort of play along with Tom. And then it freed up because Tom and Simon sing the harmony in the choruses, and I just do the Big Smoke, that sort of shit, you know. So yeah, I do like playing the drums and singing live. I'm aware of that novelty factor, and it does tickle me out the right way.
That's awesome. So for those at home, here is Big Smoke by Gloo. And welcome back to the show, guys. You guys do a lot of neat stuff for your fans on your YouTube channel. You do things like behind the scenes of tours, behind the scenes of making your music, and you even have a monthly show. So for the last part of my show, what I like to do is just have the bands speak directly to their fans. And you guys seem to have that really cool connection with your fans. So what would you like to say to them?
Cheers for keep listening to us, even though we're not gigging. We'll play to you soon. we'll try our best.
That was a great job, Tom. I'll tell you what, you did that. You look like I was like an advert. Love it. No, we did. You know, we do appreciate the fact that people can remain even slightly interested while we can't gig, because we understand that's basically our end of the bargain. That's why we did the podcast, and we try and keep up to date on the Instagram and give the behind the scenes things. We, you know, just to, as long as we spend a tenner on an album, they can't come and hear us play it. We've got to at least show them how stupid we are on video or something. You know, fair to be fair. Cheers.
Simon, what would you like to say to your fans?
Well, I feel like we know most of them. No, I don't. Well, but now we know you. We've pretty much.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it.
No, so to the ones we know, they, you know, fuck them, they're always going to come see us. But to the people we haven't met or, you know, haven't had a chance to come see us, it'd be cool if you come down and shit like that. And thanks for listening and giving us the plays, whatever. And yeah, cheers.
Very cool. So for those at home, I will have a link in the description below. That way you can follow the band on social media. They're on all the normal platforms. Please tune in next week when we have a brand new band. But guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.